Hello, everybody. This is Michael Fair from FilmFestivalCircuit.com, and I am the director of the Atlanta After Dark Film Festival. And coming up, we have an event on February the 13th. It will be hosted by Derek Sitter, who will be there as my assistant director. And it's going to be at the Plaza Theater. And Atlanta After Dark, if you don't know anything about the festival, it is content that is geared towards a mature audience. This is not something that you want to bring your children to, but it is also not purely a horror film festival. We have everything from horror to suspense to dark drama to even some music videos to even some dark animation, dark sci-fi, dark fantasy. So we have things that are, again, for a mature audience, may not get the opportunities at general, or should I say mainstream type of film festivals. And we specifically are focusing on that type of content here. There's nothing X-rated or anything to worry about, but definitely language, some gore, some blood. And we're going to talk about some of the blood coming up in this film. I'm so happy we've got Edward Varnie here, who's the director of The Body, which is proof of concept. We're going to talk about right there. Hey, Ed, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the opportunity. Shout out to Atlanta After Dark.
Thank you. Well, why don't you give us an idea of who you are, like what your role is in this film? And I know a lot of us have a lot of roles in a film. Who you are and where you're from and where was this filmed?
So I'm Edward Varnie, co-writer, director, and co-producer on this lovely film, The Body. Where I'm from California by way of Charlotte and Atlanta, where we produced the project. You know, with great, lovely, my producing partner, Melanie, aka MJ Newby, the talented actress who's also in the film. And essentially, The Body's about you know, a cool hip couple driving home one night, happened to run down a young woman who seems to be fleeing a crime scene, and then shenanigans ensue when they take her home to somebody's home to get patched up, and things continue to escalate.
All right. Well, what inspired you to create this film? Me personally, watching your film, it almost had sort of a Alfred Hitchcock Twilight Zone type of creepiness to it when I was watching it. But what are your inspirations, and why did you decide to create this specific film?
Well, really, I love the idea of horror adjacent genre bending, right? We kind of start off with something that kind of works as a very exotic adult thriller that quickly turns and becomes something of an action film that quickly turns and becomes something of a body horror film that quickly turns and becomes an action film, right? While we got splices of character pieces in there. So my biggest thing is I just love the idea of creating a original piece that had original characters that kind of combined the things that I loved about horror films and action films, while also casting and working with my creative team and my friends who are talented actors and talented artists, just kind of giving them a big canvas to tap into.
All right. Well, did you learn anything just going through this? I feel like every film project that people work on is a little bit of film school. And, what'd you learn on this one?
Big thing, man, prosthetic makeup, prosthetic makeup, prosthetic makeup. And we work on productions and we get bogged down with dates, end dates, and we have to go now. I think the biggest takeaway that I took away from this film as a growing director who's always working on myself in terms of my approach, but also working how I lead, how I communicate, is when things aren't 100% lined up at the start point that you feel confident that you can really create, it's perfectly fine to put a pause. It's perfectly fine to readjust your start date to get exactly what you want, because sometimes sticking to the date and just moving forward and pushing forward, it puts so much wear and tear on your crew. And that's something that I didn't really want to do. So I think between that and just really learning how to manage the wig and makeup aspect of it, because we probably went to 2-3 hours a day of prep, right, on my lead actress for her makeup. That just kind of changes how you approach your shoot day, right? So I would just say that those are the biggest takeaways, man. How you lead people, how you communicate with people, and what situations and circumstances are you creating for the people on set to do their best work.
Okay. Well, explain to us. You are nominated, your film is nominated for the Best Proof of Concept Award. And sometimes it isn't clear whether that proof of concept is for a film or a series, or maybe that hasn't been decided. What direction are you going with this film?
The full intent is to be a feature length film that kind of
Mhm.
opens up to like a greater universe. This kind of sort of idea of vampires, let alone vampires of color, living amongst us, and what does that experience look like, and just this idea of lineage and the five original bloodlines. So there's a whole story bible that I kind of laid out around the main character in the proof of concept, right? That quote unquote body. So to me, I envision it as a a series of movies that go 5, 6, 7 deep in that tie into other characters. So that's the grand vision on my end as a creator and director of aspirations.
All right. Well, is there any film industry networking connections you're still looking to make? It looks like you're still kind of in progress. You have some distance before this feature film goes into production. Are you looking to make any connections at all?
Always just looking to connect with people, more cinematographers, production designers, editors, set deck, wig and makeup. To me, I love connecting and building with people first and foremost, right?
Mhm.
But that's the biggest thing. But also, the biggest things, obviously, executive producer, more funding, fundraising to actually take the next step and grow the project. So that's like the biggest ideal industry connect. So we're really just hoping to shop the proof of concept, shop the short, and get in front of eyeballs for people who are looking to invest in what the greater feature would be.
And optimally, where do you want to produce this feature
It'd be great
geographically?
to do it in Atlanta, Atlanta, somewhere in the southeast, maybe even Charlotte, North Carolina. But it would be very, very great to ideally shoot it where we shot the short in Atlanta. A lot of our relationships, resources, our talent is based out there.
All right. Was there any shout outs or anyone you'd like to thank from your cast and crew, everyone who made this thing happen?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank the the judging committee and the curators from Atlanta After Dark for watching the film. I know you go through a lot of films year in year out, but also seeing value in the film and screening it because I'm always grateful for opportunities to share my work. And just shout out to the world's greatest crew. Shout out to our actress, the body, Miss Kylie Jordan. I know she's expecting baby number two. MJ Newby, a great, great producing partner. Shout out to our amazing cinematographer, Donald, who bailed us out, came in last minute, shot a magnificent project with next to no gear. Shout out to Antonio, one of my actors, producing partner. Shout out to Anne Elizabeth, one of our actresses. I'm sorry, one of my best friends, J.R. Ducci, came out in a pinch, did some great work for me. Shout out to Miss Mandy on set. Everybody.
Uh-oh, I lost connection briefly here. See if I can get him back. All right, looks like Edward got frozen on ice. I'm not sure what happened there, but we appreciate him. The interview is basically over, but we're looking forward to the screenings at the Atlanta After Dark Film Festival. So, if you are able to, join the festivities, please come on down. There is a promo code in the body of this video. If you would, no pun intended. There's a promo code in the body of this video. If you would like to attend, please use it for a discount. So, Michael Fair and signing out, and have a good day. Thanks.